Hello, I'm the Guitar Geek and welcome to the final video in this resurrection of the Les Paul studio. It has been quite a journey for me and for you guys watching. I promise you that the guitar gets finished in this video, and I promise you that you hear me play it at the end. I'll do a full review and full playthrough in some other video, but there are some samples at the end of this video. Don't skip to the end. Watch the final process because you get to see it come to life and you get to see me get a little bit excited as well. Thank you for sticking with me in this series, and I will see you at the end. Bye bye. There's the decal. It's ready to be attached. What I'm going to do first is cut it out. Filled with warm water. It's going to go in there for about 30 seconds. Hold your finger on top and slide that paper out from underneath. Very important that everything is wet. Fingers, guitar surface, everything. Because if it's not, it's going to stick and catch, and that's how you end up with a torn decal. Then you take your paper and you push it on there. You don't rub it, you push it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I'm never going to try and pass this off as being the original decal. But also I'm never going to sell this guitar, so it just needs to be somewhere that my OCD is happy with. Again, just laying that paper on there, pressing it, letting it take that moisture away. So once again, you need paper towel, water, warm, true bypass bowl. Chuck it in the warm water for about 30 seconds. Okie dokie, that's enough. If it starts to slide off, it's ready. Prepping the surface with some water, it is ready. So let's get it around the right way. Nice and wet fingers. Here is the truss rod cover, which now looks really grimy. Once you have the decal in roughly the right place, I like to put the machine head washers on. Just to give me something else to work to, so then you can line it up a little easier. That's good enough for rock and roll, so let's get that off there. Whoa, mama. Getting that water off there, laying that paper on. I really don't want to move those decals in any way. Light bit of smoothing. This is where you risk tearing the decal, sadly. That is the Les Paul logo and the Gibson logo stuck on. I'm not entirely happy with the quality of the decal, but as I said earlier, it's good enough for rock and roll. I'm now going to leave that for about an hour to dry. About 1 hour has passed. I've just shook this poly can up for about a minute, which is why I'm out of breath. And I'm ready to apply a few dust coats. That's all I'm doing, leaving it 20 minutes. Come back in 20. 20 minutes is up, another few dust coats. The key here is patience. Much like it was with the sanding, if you're going to go on with a full, thick coat, it's never going to work properly. You're going to see this decal, it's going to be blindingly obvious, and you will end up having to start all over again. The temperature has dropped severely over the past few days, and we've gone from 26 degrees to 13, then down to 5. And this poly is taking quite a long time to dry, so there, it's looking a lot better. Lots of little dimples and needs some sanding out. But as you can see on the top, there, look, it's still a bit yellow. That's going to need a bit more time to dry. So I'm behind schedule, but I'm going to use that time to finish the top off. The top was partially covered in tru-oil because I went around the edges of this wonderfully beautiful binding. So now I'm going to sand it off a little bit because it is slightly marked from being worked on and so on and so forth. There's a mark here that I won't be able to get rid of, and a crack, and there's some stuff that just won't come out because it's deep in the paint. But I should be able to get it looking pretty nice. So time to get my sand on. As I'm working on a Gibson guitar, it makes sense to use Gibson's Luthier's Choice High Gloss Polish. This is a lamb's wool buffing wheel. Gonna get some of that polish on there again. And as they say in the business, buff the crap out of it. Lovely. The poly is now dry, and if I tilt the guitar, you might be able to see that it's not perfect. There's still some lumps and bumps in it, and it needs sanding and polying one more time. I'm going to do it with 1000 at first, and then take it up to 3000. I am about 70% sure that there was a spider or even a small mouse living in here at some point. It's positively disgusting in here. Regarding the model, this is the Studio Light, which means what Gibson did was put a mahogany body on it, but cut out a piece in the middle and replaced it with balsa wood, which I'm familiar with the wood because you make model airplanes out of it, but apparently it is a tone wood, and it makes the guitar lighter by replacing the mahogany with balsa. Very exciting, very exciting. Where are my pickups? Time to get these black covers off. I've got some Harley Benton parts from Thomann. I've got some Gibson parts from Gibson. I've got some All-Part parts. All-Parts parts. Wow. From All-Parts. And I've got some stuff from... They've come from China. I don't know exactly where. Maybe Amazon. But anyway, they were cheap. Very cheap. Only a few euros. Those were next up in price, and the Gibson ones were the most expensive, naturally. I just want to show you the difference in colour, because these are all apparently cream. That's the Gibson pickup ring cover. That's the All Parts, and there's the Chinese ones. I don't know how well this is going to come out on the video, but the Chinese ones are noticeably darker. They're more like a flesh colour you'd find on an action figure. And then the All Parts are slightly lighter, and then lighter still are the Gibson parts. That's the poker chip off an Epiphone Tribute Plus. That's the Gibson. And that has gold writing, and this is black, and I prefer the black on that. However, the colour is different. Again, I don't know if you can see that with this still being in the packaging, but the Epiphone cover matches the Gibson pickup rings better than the Gibson matches the Gibson pickup rings. So that's odd. And the Gibson one actually matches the All Parts one. So that's that together. Then we've got the jack socket. That's my selection. So I don't need this just yet, but what we do need is this. Let's crack this open. The neck one is thin and slightly thicker, then the bridge one is a bit thicker than that one, and then thicker still. Simple way to remember it is it's thin at this end, thick at this end. I can already see the guitar taking shape with this creamy goodness, and cream was definitely the right choice. Thought I'd lost my screw, but there it is, hiding. I hate this bit. No, where did that go? Jabbed myself in the finger and lost the screw. Hate putting springs on pickups. I find it very stressful. Honestly, the tension is unbearable. This is the nut that I'm going to be using. It's the Tusk nut from Graphtec. I use this because it's self-lubricating, and Les Pauls are renowned for having tuning stability issues. That dreaded G string. The Tusk nut should assist me in reducing those issues with tuning. Scraping away that tape there. got a bit of paint on the fretboard, so I'll get rid of that first. I think the nut is not... Oh, the nut is going to slide in. It's a little bit tight. I'm not even going to glue that nut in. It's so tight in there that it doesn't need gluing, so that's tight. What does need to happen is it needs to be shaved off just here. Maybe you can see that it's not quite flush. There, can you see it poking out? I'll put it that way so I can see what I'm doing. All I'm going to do is run this blade up in here a few times. The nut is installed and I'll adjust that when I do the setup with the strings on. But now it's time to take this tape off and get rid of some of this tru-oil that's ended up on the fretboard. I've gone with the Grover silver machine heads, but because of the painting I've done, they won't actually fit through. So what I need to do is push these 9mm and eventually 10mm drill bits through. I'm just doing it by hand, because there's not going to be much there. But already that's come off. That shouldn't be there. So that's the 9mm gone through, and they're going to go in there, but they're quite tight, so I'm going to run the 10mm through as well. Time to align the machine heads. Actually got to the point where I can put the tailpiece and the bridge on. I can't believe it. What I'm going to do is just pop those in there ever so quickly. Reach over here and grab a dab of machine oil. I mean, like a little dab. Work that in there, just so when it goes down in, there's something lubricating it so it can get back out again. Same with the tailpiece. There we go. That is that in. Whew, that was a lot of work. A lot of screwing. Wow. I can't believe I'm actually at this stage. Try not to get too emotional. But what I need to do now is sort these bad boys out. I think I need to take the back panel off again. So let's get on with it. Top hats, silver top hats. Well, that one's a bit sticky, so that's going to need to come off a little bit. But that's how it should look. Look at that. Beauty. Beauty, beauty, beauty. I've had to rip out all the pots and wiring, and I have to redo it because the pots that were in there originally, this blasted thing, is really unreliable. So I've got some new CTS pots that arrived today, and let's throw those in there. I thought I was finished, but I haven't put the strap locks on yet. So in they go. Strap pins are on, ready to accept the strap locks, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's time to string her up. My goodness, it has strings on it. I'm going to leave the tape on the pickups just while I do the setup for two reasons. One, I don't want to damage the pickups, and two, I want to keep the final look from you guys. I decided not to film the setup because it's going to be the same as every other Les Paul setup on YouTube, and it's finished, it's done, it's playable, I've played it, I'm so excited. Before I show you the finished article, I want to show you what the guitar looked like at the beginning, so here's some pictures of how it used to look. Pretty shocking. It was filthy and horrible, but now it is gorgeous and beautiful, and it looks like this. done, it's finished, it sounds fantastic, it looks gorgeous. Thank you for staying with me in this series. It's quite a long one, and I promised things that I did not deliver. However, now that this is done, it means I can move on to other things, more pedal demos, more guitar builds, some project guitars. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe. If you really like it, then support me on Patreon. Thank you so much. I'm the Guitar Geek, and goodbye.